Gordon is running great. You guys saw that there when I was outside. Still got a little bit of a loose chain. We're going to pull this side cover off. I'll show you how to do that. Um, what else are we going to do? Oh, probably just wipe everything down real quick and we'll get this thing ready. Maybe take a few swipes on the chain and check these rakers out also to make sure they are set to the cutters. So that's about it. We'll fill it up with gas and oil. We'll probably make a few test cuts um, outside. So the manual oiler is working, the automatic oiler is working. So that is very cool. 'Cause I kind of, I mean, I would love to dig in here and fix the things, but if they're working already, no need. So to get this side cover off, the chain brake and everything, it's kind of an interesting process. What you've got are two half-inch head nuts inside of here and one half-inch head nut right here. So what you'll need to do is actually loosen this up and remove it. This top nut here. They did make them all the same size, so that's kind of nice. But it's what a strange setup. Either way, well, we did check the brake. The brake does work. Um, at least keep the chain from rolling. And we're gonna pop these two half-inch nuts off here, and they are deep, deep, deep down in there. So you will need a deep well, and you can't use, well, what I found, for at least for me, is the the scrinch here, the 13 millimeter, which might work. It was not deep enough. At least this one isn't. You might have one at your house that is deeper, but it would not. It wouldn't go all the way on there, and if it did, you couldn't turn it once it sat down on there because it was hitting the this brake. But either way, this one, it pops off of here. If you can get these two to separate, this is there it goes. You got to kind of wiggle and jiggle a little bit. Once that happens, then you can pull the side cover off. So got that now. You've got this flopping around. Anyways, so yeah, let's check this clutch drum. Let me get you in here a little closer, and we'll take a closer look at all this stuff underneath here, and check out all the innards of this of Gordon here. So here's what we were looking at. Clutch looks great. This thing looks like it's barely been used. Looks brand new, really. Clutch drum bearing feels excellent. And we'll see. We might pop this chain off, this bar and chain off, because what I want to do is actually clean this the bar groove out with the chainsaw curette. And there's that right there. So if you're interested in something like this, I've got these available for sale. This is something I invented and designed myself. So what we're going to do is use this to clean the bar groove out, clean the oil hole out. This is all plugged up right here. You can see that right there is full. That's what this is for, is to clean that mess out of there. And then we'll set the rakers with this part of it here. So let's go ahead and pull this chain off now. And I'm just getting it off of the sprocket nose here, which sometimes can be interesting, especially with saws that don't want to cooperate. Looks like it comes apart okay. Got this deflector kind of in the way here a little bit, but got it off of there. So there's your chain. Like I said, it's not terrible. The chrome's in decent shape, and everything seems to be working. It just had a little surface rust on there. Here's the bar. So it has been used. Oh yeah, you can see the oil hole here is just completely plugged up. So we'll clean that in just a second. And like I said, let's take a look at this rim sprocket down inside of there. And that looks good. There's a tolerance on these. I'm really not worried about it. That clutch bearing feels great. I wonder if this is the kind you can oil through No, there's no hole in the middle of that like a Husqvarna has. But, and it sounds great. I don't think that's an issue at all. So we got our rag here and a screwdriver. What I'll do is I'll clean out some of this gunk here on this bar pad. But I like the screwdriver and rag for to clean all these wounds here that are bleeding everywhere. Well, it looks good. We'll adjust this. There's the tensioner. We'll adjust that here in a little bit when we go to put our bar back on. Let's get this out of the way. Now we've got our bar. I'll wipe off this oil that's dripping everywhere. So what we'll do is we'll use our chainsaw curette here to, this one's one that's been used a little bit, well, quite a bit. Still holding up fine. So I like to start at the sprocket nose and work my way back. See how much gunk we get out of there. Not much. Again, this bar has very little time on it. This looks like a Echo style mount. In fact, we might grab an Echo bar and see if that's oh yeah, bottom side had a ton in it, which is good. You know, we get to clean this thing out. That's nice. So yeah, there you go. You can see the curette just cleans out those oil holes nice and clean. Bar groove is clean, and we're ready to go. Perfect. So something else we can do with our curette is check for any burrs. So you're not running your finger across there, maybe cutting it. This does all the work for you. So we'll check this side too. That side's good. Just some rust, really. Not even a burr. Okay, well, I'm good with that. This bar is cleaned up. What we'll do is we'll grease this nose up. Oh, that's a controversial topic. Let me know if you grease your bar nose or don't. And this is just it's called a push and lube. This is a bar nose greaser. So we'll just put a pump into there, and that lubricates that. Some people say the grease holds the dirt in the bearing of the sprocket nose. I like to grease them. As long as you grease them often, it helps push that dirt out of there. But either way, so we got that. Perfect. Let's put the bar and chain back on this thing, and we'll be ready to. So we'll flip this over. It looks like that side was used more. We'll be ready to sharpen this chain up and set those breakers. It's not dull by any means, but I do want to just touch it up there, because we are, like I said, we are gonna, because if we put the chain on the right way, that would help things significantly. Just slip it in for in. There we go. Start putting the chain down in that groove, in the bar groove, all the way around the sprocket nose here. Okay, there we go. Alright, that's in place, so I'm good with all that. So make sure we got this thing kind of in the right direction. Looks like all that's going to be okay. And this side here, what are we going to do with this? We'll just wipe it out real quick. We need to put this plate in place. Just wipe that off real quick. Like that. Yeah, this doesn't have any hours on it at all. Things like brand new. Look at it. Just putting this nut on this brake handle, at least getting it started. And now we're going to get these on. I like to shove them up in there and kind of get them started like that. There we go. Because it's tricky getting your fingers down in there, especially if you have larger fingers like myself. There we go. Well, I don't know if anybody get their fingers down in there. But nonetheless, we got it in there. We have the tool. So we're just going to get these tight enough to still have the bar wiggle a little bit. And that way we can set our chain tension. But this one up here, we can go ahead and tighten up. Call that good. Like I was saying, the scrunch here, just for, at least for mine, did not work. But that's okay. So you can see we still got a little bit of a loose chain going on here. There's the tensioning screws right underneath here. I've got my screwdriver right on there. Tightening that up righty tighty. And you can see the chain going into the bar groove here as we tighten it. So what we want to do is pick up on it, up on the nose, and check for tension. Looks like it's a little floppy still, so we'll pick up on the nose. Put our screwdriver back in the adjuster. Take one more little bit of a turn on it. That's pretty good. We'll probably go back and tighten it one more time. But for now, we've got that. Okay, so we got those tight. Check the chain real quick. Oh, yep, still a little loose. So you know what we'll do? We'll just do that again. So I noticed this never had any bucking spikes on it. You can still see the paint right here on this side, and on the body itself down here, it was never scratched either. So I'm not sure if these came with them or not, but if you know, I would love to know if these were factory with a set of dogs. It feels okay. That's a little tight, but I'm expecting it to loosen up a little bit more. Chain runs pretty free though, so not too worried about that. Yeah, there we go. Looks great. Got a file here. I'm just going to go through here and just quickly set these, just touch it up a little bit, just to knock some of that gunk off of there. But yeah, these are sharp already. There's really no need to go crazy with this thing. But nonetheless, what I'm going to do is go through there like that. And then the next step, I'm going to go through, and this tooth we just sharpened here, I'm going to set or double check these rakers that they're not going to stick out at all. And this one is just a touch. So you can see there, that's how the raker gauge works. It just knocks, it allows the gauge for you to sharpen or to lower the raker to the sharpened tooth height. So what I'll do is go through the rest of the chain here, sharpening each tooth, and then using the chainsaw curette to set the rakers. So let me do that, and then it'll be ready to go do some test cuts. Got our Pro Max 610 here, and what we're going to do is, this is a kind of a cold start. It's a warm day, don't get me wrong, but I have not started it up in the last couple of days, been setting. But let's see if we can get this thing going, and then we're going to cut this maple up a little bit. It's a nice, the butt of a log here that is, it's probably a little big for this bar, but I touched this chain up there. That's feeling really good, actually. And set the rakers and everything with the chainsaw curette. So be sure to check out the video about that. So let's get started here, and let's see if we can get this thing going. So first thing we're going to do is going to flip the ignition switch to the on position like that, and then we're going to pull the choke out, which is right here to the right of the rear handle. And we're not going to set the high throttle, the throttle lock there, but we're going to use a proper technique here. We'll put our feet, our foot in there, and we're going to pull until it starts. It should start, it should bark a little bit, and then it'll shut off, and then we'll have to take the choke and turn it off, and then pull it until it actually starts. So let's do that. Okay, that's perfect. Usually 3 pulls with the choke. If it's more than that, something's probably wrong. But we're going to push the choke in now and pull until it starts. All right. Well, you can see the ProMax 610 is running great. I don't know if you noticed when I was in that cut, when I was over on that side, I was kind of putting it in and picking it up out of it, and I could hear it four-stroking as soon as I pulled it out of the wood, and as soon as I put it right back in, it cleaned up. If you need help, again, with that carburetor tuning video, be sure to check that out that I had pointed out earlier. But yeah, 610 runs great. Yeah, it's heavy, for what it is. It's a little awkward with this handguard chain brake combination thing. It's just different, not awkward. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but different for sure. And this one is really, really low hour, and just it cuts wood, right? It cut wood. It's not the fastest, it's not the coolest, it's not the most recent thing, but you know what? It cut a piece of wood, and I have no doubt it would cut the rest of this log. It'd buck it up. I got some limbs over there. It would cut those up too. So I mean, how much can you say, right? I mean, all in all, I can't complain at all. But either way, that's enough from me. And remember, keep your chain sharp and stay safe.